Good evening, peeps. I'm Auriel Grace, and sitting next to me is the one, the only, Melinda Carver.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Yule. Welcome, winter solstice.
So, so we're going to be talking about holidays, and already some of you have put some things in the comments in the other um, in the other post on Facebook. So, whatever you do for holidays, put them in the post because we want to see them. We can see your comments. Hey Mary. So and tonight, like Melinda, the last time I saw her in I don't know, what was it, September?
September.
Yeah. So Melinda actually inspired part of this show because and she'll tell you about it in a minute. She's going to tell you some more about it, but she took me to this most beautiful statue. I've got a picture of it, and I'm going to show it in a minute. But first, um, I would like to thank everyone who has downloaded the Lucy Prophet series and the Angels of Psychic Storybook. You all broke my record from last year and the past like 3.5 days. Over 150 copies of these books have gone out on Amazon. And
Congratulations, Auriel. That's
yes.
awesome.
So if you want to get the Lucy Prophet series for free, Merry Christmas. Go, go to Amazon and download the Kindle version, and you'll be able to you'll see it. You can download it. All 5 books right now are on sale. I'm writing the last Lucy Prophet book, so it'll be very fun for you. Thanks, Iris. Hey, Iris. I haven't seen you in a long time. So I'm pretty excited. So thank you all. Remember to review the books after you read them, okay? Because it really helps us authors, including Melinda. Oh shoot, I don't have your book in here. Melinda wrote a book too. And so any books that you get off of Amazon, whether they're Kindle versions or book versions, really helps us when you review the books. What's the name of your book?
Get positive, live positive. Clearing the negativity from your life.
That's
Teaches you how to
right.
clear the negativity from your attitude, your mindset, your emotions, your home, your workplace, problem neighbors. It's
Yes.
all in there. Get positive, live positive.
Yeah. It's a great book, you all. So Get Positive, Live Positive by Melinda Carver. You can check that out on Amazon as well. She has it. Do you have it in Kindle form, or is it
Yes.
just different?
But it's all run by my publisher. I do not set the pricing. So you could always write to Red Feather, part of Schiffer Books. If you do not like the pricing, you could send them an email. I have no control over the pricing.
I'm so glad to see you here, Iris. I wore your earrings tonight. Look.
You
Those
called
are
her
my
in
favorite earrings.
energetically.
Yeah. All right. So the other thing Kendra reminded me earlier is I'm reminding you that our lucky day for the month is December 22nd. So if you're a lottery ticket buyer, buy your lottery tickets on December 22nd. I'm buying mine. Melinda and I want to wish you a happy holidays. That's tonight. We're wishing you a happy holidays. So I was going through my news feed yesterday, and I saw this picture. I have a connection to Guadalupe, Mother Mary. Yeah. So Guadalupe is the Mexican version of Mother Mary. She's very beautiful. And this is a story of how the miracle that happened in Mexico. So, 10 years after Hernando Cortez had conquered Mexico City, and long before the settlements in Jamestown, the first recorded apparition in America was documented by the indigenous writer Antonio Vallarino. Vallarino's document, published in 1649, is featured in El Nican Mopoja, I think that's how you say it, and was written in Nahuatl, the language of the Aztecs or the Mexicanos. Okay, so on December 9th, 1531, Juan Diego, a Nahua peasant and a devout Catholic, was on his way to Mass near the Franciscan mission station in Tetlatco. As he passed the hill of Tepeyac, that's how you say it, which is near Mexico City, he began to hear beautiful melodies, and he saw a lovely lady who called out his name. She spoke in his native tongue, and he asked her name, and she said, "I am Guadalupe." She instructed Juan Diego to inform Bishop Zumarraga about her wish for a church to be erected on that site. Bishop Zumarraga, after hearing Juan Diego's account, patiently indicated he would consider it, naturally expressing skepticism about the tale. So Juan Diego returned to Tepeyac and he relayed the bishop's responses to Mother Mary. Encouraged, and Mother Mary encouraged him to persist. Despite the greater difficulty in gaining an audience, Juan Diego succeeded, and the bishop listened with patience. Yet the bishop requested a sign from Mary, from the Guadalupe, to verify the account. Juan Diego assured him that he would be given the sign for the bishop the next day on December 11th. Juan Diego devoted his day to taking care of his gravely ill uncle, and his uncle requested that Juan Diego bring a priest to hear his confession and give him the last rites. The following day, on December 12th, Juan Diego embarked once more, but took a different route to avoid Tepeyac Hill, feeling ashamed for not having fulfilled the Blessed Mother's request to return the day before. As he took this detour, he was stopped by the Blessed Mother, and she said to him, "Hear and let it penetrate into your heart, my dear little son. Let nothing discourage you, nothing depress you, let nothing alter your heart or your countenance. Also, do not fear any illness or vexation, anxiety or pain. Am I not here, who am your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Am I not your fountain of life? Are you not in the folds of my mantle, in the crossing of my arms? Is there anything else that you need?" Mary reassured Juan Diego that his uncle would not die. In fact, his health had been restored. Mary then instructed Juan Diego to go to the mountain and gather flowers. He climbed the hill, which was arid and barren, a place for cacti, and discovered roses like those from Castile, yet not native to America or Mexico. He gathered them in his tilma, which is like a poncho, and he brought them to Mary, who arranged them and said to take them to the bishop. Juan Diego returned to the residence of Bishop Zumarraga. After awaiting his turn, he conveyed the message once more to the bishop and unfolded his tilma to reveal the roses. To the bishop's astonishment, he saw not just the splendid flowers, but also the miraculous image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Overcome with emotion, Bishop Zumarraga shed tears at the vision of the Holy Mother and sought pardon for his skepticism. Bishop Zumarraga placed the tilma at the altar in his chapel. By that Christmas, a humble adobe structure had been erected on the Tepeyac Hill to honor our Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Guadalupe. So it was dedicated on December 26, 1531, on the feast day of Saint Stephen the Martyr. So I'm going to publish this tomorrow with the link to the full blog because I kind of edited it down. But I hope that you will celebrate Guadalupe's Day on the 26th, which is Boxing Day. So Melinda Melinda knows my affection for Mother Mary, and she also has affection for her. I'm going to show you a picture that we took the last time I was there. Melinda, tell them about this statue.
Okay, so there is a church, Catholic church in Middleburg Heights, Parma border, and it is called St. Bridget's. And in the back, I was cutting through the parking lot one day and I was having a very, very bad day. And I looked to my right and off to the side was this statue of Mary. A lot of churches, when I was growing up, they had the outdoor shrines where
Yeah,
you could go, and there was usually a statue of Mary. So you could do May Day flowers, and there were like benches and seats. And a lot of them have dismantled these outdoor shrines for whatever reason. People breaking the statues or removing them. I don't know all the reasons why. So it's been a long time since I've seen an outdoor statue of Mother Mary. And I stopped because I was having a really, really bad day. And this calmness just came over me. And I just sat there for a few minutes in my car. And then it was raining. And then it stopped raining after a few minutes. And I got out of the car. And then I said a quick prayer and asked for some, healing and help me with the things that were aggravating me. And things started clearing away. So every now and then I go to St. Bridget's, and in the back area of their church, behind their school and the church, by their one little hall, is this outdoor shrine. So when Auriel was there, I'm like, I have a surprise for you. Come with me. And I took her, and we were there in the evening because we had all this other running around to do. We were doing, um, and it was at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot what I wanted to do. I have a surprise for you. So I think we were there like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
yep.
So, but it was summertime. Well, it's still summer. So I took her to the shrine, and every now and then I stopped there, and we had some really bad weather the last few weeks. There were really strong high winds and all the snow. And a couple of weeks ago, I stopped, and her um, headpiece that someone had made for her had blown off, and I didn't realize it had blown off. I thought someone took it off, and then I got out of my car because it was just lightly drizzling, and I saw her headpiece like 5, 6 feet away from the statue on the ground. So I picked it up and put it back on her. So they have cameras and things outside, so they probably see my car there often enough. They're, oh, that's that lady. She's gonna say some prayers and then keep going. So yeah.
So, but
But
this
Mother
picture,
Mary is the first version of the goddess energy that most people learn, whether they're Christian, um, Catholic, Orthodox. Mother Mary is part of the reason for the season because without her, you would not have Jesus.
that's right.
So Mother Mary is a form of the goddess. So similar to her would be Kuan Yin
Yep.
or Isis, the Egyptian goddess, not the terrorist organization.
Right.
So those three are the more gentler versions of the goddess. And the Lady Guadalupe is the same. And when you came, I also had some gifts from you for the Lady of Lords, and that's Lourdes. So in Lourdes, they had the visions with
The little girls.
the three shepherd children,
Mhm.
Lucia and Francisco and Juanita, and they're now saints. And Sister Lucia, there's a great movie on Netflix about the Lady of, well, that was Lady of Fatima, but there's also the Lady of Lourdes. So the Lady of Lourdes is also a site in France. Sorry, I'm getting confused here, but there's a traveling Lourdes statue.
Yes.
And I went and saw that it travels to different Catholic churches. And you can type in Traveling Lady of Lourdes, Lourdes, and you'll see some pictures of her. And it's amazing. It was in an Egyptian Orthodox church that I was able to get into traveling through Ohio and other states, and the lines to get into these churches, people from all walks of life. So it's a very beautiful, moving statue. The eyes do move. They have videos and photographic evidence of the lady blessing people and miracles happening in the presence of the Lady of Lords. So check that out. It's called the Blue Army of Lady of Lords.
Yep.
And you could also type in traveling Lady of Lords, and that's the picture of her, and it's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And the statue, the amount of peace that you get, and with as crazy as our world is with the violence and the chaos and the wars, sometimes you need those quiet reflective moments where you feel loved and valued, or help with issues and problems. And with our crazy world here
Yeah.
that we have, so many times, people will say prayers, and that's you talking to God, Goddess Universe, requesting help. And when you meditate is when you get to listen to God, Goddess Universe. So people going for these peaceful moments of healing and relief and faith, it's an amazing thing to see. So they don't have anything booked for the rest of December or January yet. But if it does come near your state, I urge you to go. It's free to visit. They do take love donations,
Yep.
and it's a very moving time.
Yeah.
So Mother Mary is part of the reason for the season. So celebrate her divine feminine, and it's a wonderful way to connect
It
to
is.
the energy of the season.
So check out the Blue Army. You can check them out on Facebook and Instagram. And that way you can find out if Mother Mary is going to be visiting your area. And I think
Yep.
you can also request her to visit as well.
Yes, yes, the churches can go and request her. There's a request form, and they can fill that out.
Yep. Yes. So, but that statue is in Parma and it is so pretty. And I took that picture at night. That's a great picture of her. So, but we wanted to talk to you about Mary tonight because she is part of the holiday season. And we want to remind everybody that, it's because, she gave birth to Jesus so he could be
Yes.
here. All right.
Archangel Gabriel appeared to Mary and said, "Lo, behold, you will have the Son of God." So that is one of the versions that have come out. Archangel Gabriel is listed by name in many of the Catholic and Christian Gospels,
Hmm.
and the archangels are in numerous holy books, not just the Christian Catholic Bible, but also different books. They're in the Torah and the Quran and other holy books across the world, various religions. So when you have this moment and you're decorating your home, some of those traditions come and predate Jesus's birth,
Yep.
and a lot of them are considered pagan, but they're so incorporated in our colors, in our traditions. And Mother Mary, if you're having a moment in this crazy season, or if you're feeling all alone, a lot of people don't have anyone, or they're estranged from their family, or they're going through a divorce, or they have a loss, because many spirits and souls decide to depart, especially around the holidays. So that's why there's such a large number between Halloween and New Year's of souls departing. So, recently lost my dear friend Wes, who was Wes the Pyramid Guy, who used to do
Yep.
readings and things with me, and I've known him and been friends with him for 15 years. So when you have a lot of loss, sometimes you need a gentle guidance or gentle comfort from a mother. And so you can connect with Mother Mary. Now, if you're not Christian or Catholic and you believe in Kuan Yin, you can ask her for comfort. Or if you follow the Egyptian deities, you can ask Isis. and
Yeah.
she's the one with the rainbow wings. And
Mhm.
so these gentle mother, divine feminine faces will assist you through the holidays with whatever needs you may need her for, whether it's comfort or guidance or just to touch your heart to help you feel whole and healthy. So we hope you feel her gentle urgings and directions to help you in bettering yourself or bettering your life in various ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so Iris said that she had the traveling Virgin of Fatima at her house about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Amazing.
And then Bonnie, hi Bonnie. They have a church in Topeka named after Our Lady Guadalupe, and her daughter was married in that church.
Wonderful.
See, oh my gosh, you guys keep putting that stuff in the comments here because I'm going through. I'm going through because we have some more stuff to share with you.
And if you
Um,
live in or around San Antonio, Texas, there are some beautiful statues of Lady Guadalupe
mhm.
in downtown San Antonio.
And
I've
in
also been in
LA.
different parts of Mexico, usually up and down the Baja Coast. And I've seen some beautiful handmade statues in some of those old churches because I'm always interested in the old church architecture. So, please connect to the divine feminine in this season if you
And
need
celebrate it.
assistance and celebrate because someone had to give birth. And
That's
let me tell
right.
you, it wasn't Joseph who gave birth, it was Mother Mary. So
That's right.
celebrate her too. And and feel that divine connection and her deep love and affection
For
for
every
you. And again, if you are not of the Christian or Catholic persuasion and you want to connect with the divine feminine, you could Egyptian deity Isis or Kuan Yin. Those three represent the gentler, more loving, nurturing side of the divine feminine. Now, the
Yep.
other way, if you wanted to go the opposite way and you
Nope.
were looking for something more, you could it's goddess Kale, Hecate, you could,
Okay, yeah.
Hera, there's different ones
After.
that you can work with, but the three gentle nurturing ones are there. But a lot of I know you wanted to talk about traditions
Yes.
and the old pagan traditions. So we're segueing here. So do you have a Christmas tree decorated in your house? Do you know that eons ago, before Christ was born, there were people who would bring food offerings of honey cakes and wine and barley beer out into the woods to
And
feed
milk.
the spirits of the forest, to keep them loving and prosperous so that they would not harm the townsfolk.
Yeah.
So they started bringing offerings of food for the fairies and elementals and the tree spirits in the woods. And then people started wanting to bring some of the magical fairy and elemental energies in. So they started cutting small logs, or the logs would fall down, and bring those into their home and ask the elemental that lived in that log to bless their home. And then they would decorate it. So people started putting ribbons and bows and candles and many other things in the forests and then also in their home. And then they started bringing these Yule logs. So there
Yep.
is still a tradition of getting a Yule log is a thicker one, about 4 to 6 inches. Sometimes they're bigger depending on your home. Sometimes you could have a foot long or a foot wide Yule log. And it was a tradition, especially in medieval times, to bring these big, huge Yule logs in, and in the crevices or holes in that log, decorate it with flowers and berries and foods and candles. So if you decorate with a Christmas tree, that was a pre
Pre-
Christian
Yeah.
tradition that is now more secular now. So a lot of people have those. So if you bring Christmas wreaths on your door, if you put Christmas bows of different ivy and cedar and branches of pine trees in various forms and you decorate with either natural or artificial, you are bringing in the fairy or the elemental energies and asking them to bless your home. And if you're decorating it, that's giving an offering to the tree spirit to bless and protect your home. So that's why we still do this centuries and centuries later. Even our Christmas day, the 25th of Christmas, celebrating the sun, was the old pagan belief that the sun god, the sun, died on the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year, which is around the 20th, 21st of each month. And the goddess in her divine feminine form would give birth to the son, son, of the sun, sun god. So the
Yep.
sun god's son was born after the long night. So then you would have the Holly King, and it's also another tradition, the Holly King of the holly tree with its dark berries and living would then also die, and then the next day the Oak King would be born. So these traditions of a son of God being born after the longest night of the year, that's when the light starts going. So right now, every day since summer solstice, which is in the middle of June, the daytime would get a little less. And, we get darker so much earlier, especially with this daylight savings time. Don't even get me started on that. But when you have is this decreasing ability of having light in the daytime. And now it gets dark about 5:15, 5:30. And the longest night of the year will be the winter solstice, which is, I believe, the 20th this
20.
year or
Mhm.
21st. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we start getting another couple seconds of light every day until spring. So you're going to start feeling better, but it's always darkest before the light and
Absolutely.
it's darkest during the middle of the night, and then the sun arises and the light returns. So a lot of these traditions that we have are based on ancient beliefs of the sun and the sun god and divine feminine, because even ancient peoples knew that women were the ones who carried and gave birth to new life. Men didn't get pregnant. um, you know they didn't even know at the time that men were even part of the woman having babies at
Right.
that time, in ancient times. So now, when you celebrate Christmas or any type of holiday where you're decorating with indoor, outdoor pine trees and cedar trees or Yule logs, you are bringing in that ancient custom and that is continuing through the centuries. So, and it's to help bring in the light and make it through the darkest night of the year to bring hope and faith that the light will return. And the same thing with the sun god having a son and the divine feminine giving birth to the son of the sun, sun, and bringing that light forth. In the same way, and that you have Mother Mary is known as the Queen of Heaven, and as she's also the Queen of the Ocean and the Queen of Light, and she gave birth to the Son, son, of the Sun God, and that has brought light and continue to bring light into this world. So as you go through your holidays, it's a very magical time. Just like around Halloween, it's a very strong time to connect with deceased loved ones and spirits and spirit guides and your spirit doctors. Now is a good time to look deep within yourself of what you want changed about your own personal self, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, and what you want in your life, or maybe there's something in your career or your family that you're healing. So work with that Mother Mary energy as you are giving birth to new ideas or new customs for yourself or your families, so that your own hope and faith in yourself and your own hope and faith for new beginnings will help you with your manifesting, especially in the new year.
Yes. Yeah, Iris, that's Yule type. Right. Yeah.
Yes, Yuletide is the
Yule
Yule
type.
log dealing with the winter solstice and the sun god's son being born by the Divine Mother to continue bringing in the light. Because ancient people realized that older men and women died and they were replaced with their son. So if you think of medieval times, when the duke or grand prince would die, their oldest son would take their place. And that is the similar of to what happens in real life everywhere else. The father dies, the son takes over. The mother dies, the oldest daughter takes over. So these things are continuance of ancient customs and traditions.
Yep. Yes.
So bring that light into your life. This is why we decorate with Christmas lights, because they mimic putting candles in the forest, which can be very dangerous. I do
Yes.
not recommend that you put live candles or lit candles on
No.
your Christmas tree. If you want, buy those fun pre-lit fake candles if you're going
Yeah.
to decorate in an old way. But this is why we use strings of Christmas lights, is to represent the lights that we would bring to keep the spirits in the forest benevolent
And
and loving towards
we
us.
even call them fairy lights now.
Yeah,
All the little twinkle fairy lights that people put up in their yards and whatnot.
yep,
Yeah. So we even still call them fairy lights.
yep.
And if
So
you
that's
want
one
to,
of the traditions.
there's there's actually a really cool Yule log in England. It's I have to remember where it is. It is I think it's, what's the name of that palace set? It's not Buckingham. It's I'll remember in a second.
Kensington.
They actually have a Yule log that's outside. It's about 1,000 years old, and what they've done with it is they have decorated it with different things. They keep it outside though, so people can see it. It's really big, and they have like flowers and berries and things like that in on the log, like strewn out. It's really
Mhm.
cool. I have to remember which palace that is, but it's there in the garden. You can go and see it. And as in medieval times, what they would do is they would just take a tree, like a fallen tree, and
Drag it into the castle.
hopefully it would be an ash tree, right? Because that's what they liked. They loved ash trees. And so they would they would actually chain the tree and drag it into the house and cut pieces of that tree. That was their Yule log. And they would cut pieces of the tree and put it in the fire and save the ash so that during the spring they would take that ash out into the fields and spread it around
Mhm.
to
Like a
to
blessing.
bring abundance to the fields.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that's another thing that they did. So,
Mhm.
as you're decorating your tree, think about
The other thing I want to tell you is something, this smells wonderful. So go buy some mini oranges, those little itty bitty oranges
it.
or
Oh
blood
yeah.
orange, and if you are want to be excessive, you could buy the navel oranges too. But you want oranges, you want cloves, you want the regular kind of cloves that you stick into a ham, and then you also want ground cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon. And in a bowl, you will pour in equal parts a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of ground cloves, and a teaspoon of cinnamon, and you mix it well. These three spices are to help for protection and abundance. Cinnamon is great to protect and brings abundance. Clove is abundance and protection, and so is nutmeg. And it smells wonderful. You mix these 3 teaspoons of each of them in. Then you get your orange. And I like to do the small ones. And what I would recommend is you get your red or green ribbon. And if you want to tie a couple together and do an orange in the center, I haven't done it yet. I always do it closer to Christmas Day. So you do one in the circle. So let's pretend these are oranges. So here's one orange, and you have it from a string, and then you tie down like a couple inches of string and then tie the next orange and make sure there's a loop at the top. And then you take your cloves, the kind that stick into a ham, and you puncture them in through the orange skin. You don't take the skin off. You keep the orange skin on. And you put cloves all around. And you could do rows or make a decoration. And the cloves that you stick into the orange is something that is citrusy. It's also a blessing, and it's equals abundance because it's grew from a seed on a tree and a blossom on the tree. So this orange is a citrus, which represents abundance and money. And you're putting the clove and you puncture the pieces of the clove all around in different layers or levels on the orange. And then you take your bowl of spices and you take your fingers and you pat it onto the orange because it's going to be all juicy
Ooh,
from
yeah,
being
from
punctured with
eating
all the
yeah.
cloves. And then you rub your spices around your oranges and it smells amazing. Let it dry and then you could hang it up by one of your doors. You can make a centerpiece of it. And this is a way that you are concentrating by taking an abundance fruit with protection and abundant spices and putting them together to bring blessings to your home. This is something that they used to do a long, long time ago because back then in ancient times, they did not have these fake plugins to smell or aerosol sprays. So they used fruits and flowers. And one of the things that they could do with the oranges is with the cloves put in, and it looks really pretty too. It's decorated fruit with different colored ribbons, and you could hang them or you could put them in a bowl, and it smells wonderful and it will keep for several days. This is why I always usually do it Christmas Eve morning or the day before Christmas Eve because then it lasts a few days and you don't have to throw it out. And then your house smells amazing with the spices of clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, and the citrus fruits. So try that. It doesn't work with limes or lemons. Lemon is a natural cleanser. You don't want to clear the energy. You want to bring abundance and blessings. So use oranges,
Oranges.
any kind of oranges. I usually get those bag of the small oranges. You could use blood oranges, but blood oranges are super expensive. So I'd rather eat that one and do it on a couple of the smaller ones. So, and you only need to do one, but two or three of the small ones in a line with ribbon in between, and you can hang that somewhere. It smells so good. So, so, so good.
Yeah, we have
So
those
try
little
that.
oranges. I might try that.
Yep. It's a fun way. And when you're doing
Yeah,
it, don't sit
cuties.
there and don't scream at your kids or get in a fight with your lover. You want to sit there where you are concentrating and doing love and protection for you and yours and you and your home while you're doing it. Because while you're putting this together, your energy is infusing that concoction. So you don't want to be screaming or yelling or talking on the phone while you're doing it. You want
To
love,
focus.
abundance, protection, energy flowing in, not you screaming at your kids or your spouse or your best friend on the phone. Okay.
Okay. Do it when you're calm, at
Yeah.
peace, and you can be present.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
hope you guys are enjoying all these fun stories and
They
different
are.
things you can do.
I'm watching the comments. They are enjoying these fun stories. So, because it's like this is the time of celebration where people come together and they're, unexpected visits and fun people to be around. It's just really the best time of year. And
Yeah.
and
And
people are
people have all
hoping
the Christmas decorations. They're decorating and they're shopping and they're hunting and gathering supplies and food and you're trying to find the perfect gift. And there's a lot of stress to find the perfect gift and to decorate your home or to have people in your home that you don't really care for because they're extended family. So, doing little things for yourself to bring you peace and comfort during the season, whether you connect with the divine feminine as Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, or Isis, or decorating in ancient traditions with Christmas trees, Yule logs, wreaths, oranges decorated with cloves and spices. It's just a wonderful time. Another Another way you can do it, if you're a baker, you can make honey cakes, which are honey oat cakes. And the honey cakes are a great way to, when you're baking it, these are ancient tradition too, is you make your honey cakes and you're pouring your love for yourself, your family, your friends into that honey cake so that when they eat it, they're going to feel that extra dose of love while you're baking the honey cakes. And if you Google honey cake recipes, there's numerous ones and different traditions, but those were the ancient honey cakes that people in the villages used to leave out for the tree spirits, elementals, and the fairies out in the woods. So if you want to leave one out by your tree, you're honoring your ancestors and the elementals where you live. We don't have as many super stories of fairies as they do in Europe, and especially in England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and France and Belgium have a lot of history. Even Russians have a history of elementals, and the Germanic tribes
Yep.
had different ones too. But we do have fairies and elementals in the United States, and they're in your country too. If you're in South America and we're in North America, African countries have stories of their elementals. They might not call them fairies. So there are stories. So if you want to honor them and ask them to work with you and bring blessings, you leave little honey cakes. And
Yep.
if you are not a baker, and I do not like baking, I enjoy eating it, but I'm rather more of the cook than the baker. You can get Hershey Kisses, are really great. You unwrap the chocolate and put it out in your trees. But let me tell you this, if you have a dog, dogs cannot have chocolate. So do not leave chocolate outside your home if you have a dog, because some of the little dogs, a Hershey Kiss can kill them. Larger dogs, depending on their health, may survive, but do not feed chocolate to your dogs because they are toxic to dogs. But you can leave them out if you want in the woods, or if you have a home with no dogs, you can leave it in your trees in the yard. And don't throw them in your neighbors if they have a dog because people do stupid things. So, don't chuck it in the
Don't
neighbors.
check it
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we'll get the tomorrow when I set up the blog, when I share the blog, Iris and Anissa, I will have the recipe for the oranges because Melinda's going to go over it with me after the show, right? So that I
Don't
know
make
that
me
I
do
got it
extra
right.
work.
So tomorrow I'll blog it, and I'll put Melinda's website too underneath the recipe, so you could go visit her website from the blog. So look for the blog tomorrow, and the recipe will be there so y'all can make oranges. I want to see pictures of the oranges though. If you make oranges, I want to see pictures and tag Melinda and tag me so that we can see
It
how pretty your
smells amazing, and it's so easy to do. You want a good thing of, go to Aldi's or Save a Lot and buy your cloves. You want the whole clove so it looks pretty. Like when you're doing a baked ham and you
Mhm.
put whole cloves and you stick them in rows on the ham, you want the whole cloves that you could stick because they puncture, and the sharp thin point goes into the orange, where the pretty nub that sticks out of the ham, that sticks out of the orange, and it just smells amazing. A teaspoon, again, teaspoon of nutmeg, teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of ground cloves, and you mix it together. Now, if you want to do more oranges, then make that a tablespoon of each spice. And, depending on how many you're making, but generally a teaspoon of each mixed together will do two small little oranges or one big navel orange. If you want to do more than that, then obviously keep making more. But
Right.
it smells so good, and it's for abundance. And yeah, I have to get my oranges. I bought blood oranges this week, but those are to eat because those are more expensive.
And they're yummy.
Yeah, I got time. Like, I haven't had a blood orange for a while. Let me get one of these because they're so good. I splurged. I treated myself to special oranges. Yay!
Yay. Yes. All right. So we're coming to the end here. We do want to wish you guys, all of you, all my peeps, happy holidays, and like get excited for 2024 because it's gonna be rocking.
2025.
Or 2025, right? 20, I'm like going, thank God 2024 is almost over with.
I know it's just been one of those years. The first 6 months were great. The last 6 months have been so hard for so many people. So, have a quiet, reflective moment for yourself to bring peace and happiness within your heart so that you can get through the next 2 weeks. We have
Yep.
11 days to Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
Yule, Blessed
Christmas.
Winter Solstice.
Happy
Lots of love to you
holidays.
all.
We love you. Stay safe.
Bye.
And remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of love. We'll see you next year. Bye.
Bye bye.